Jason, a follow-up question to you. So how, apart from the workflow audit and workflow optimization, how are you helping your clients on optimizing the cloud usage and optimizing the cloud?
Oh, it's great. It's great. It's super simple. I'll summarize as quick as possible. So a lot of the service, actually all the service offerings changed. I think of everything in terms of a service offering, right? So because I'm not building a SaaS product, it's a service. But I use SaaS products, right? But there's people involved. So what I figured is the easiest way to describe this is I found over quarantine I took a, this is the trick. I do run an IT company. Now, the awesome part about that is metrics, because there's an RMM agent installed on all the computers. I don't know if any of you know what that is. You probably do. Remote monitoring and maintenance on all the devices, right? So every site has a device list, and you can see like the OS, the type of the computer. It pulls all the information into the cloud. That's what IT companies do. That's a managed service provider, right? Make a long story short, you look at the data and you can start to see what apps they're using, right? You can do cross-referencing, what's the popular browser of choice, and then you just go all the way down. I picked about 25 businesses to interview the owners because I wanted to take it to the next level inside what I thought the automated method was, which is a complete modernization business, like a consulting business that can do everything. But that's too big. What did I find? The proficiency problem. Proficiency in the application environment is the biggest issue in any business, okay? Like everybody's beginner at best in the app that they would use. So say, for example, even Slack. If you use Slack, I bet you the majority of business owners are beginner or novice. They're not advanced, intermediate, or intermediate, advanced, and expert. So I started to find businesses in a 100-kilometer radius of Toronto that were what I call app-centric, and their agencies that I called remote departments. So what they would do is that when you model a business, like, we basically interview, figure out what industry they're in, a perfect app stack. Like, don't square peg round hole anything, nothing. Like I'm talking, should it be Xero or QuickBooks Online? There are some industries that one or the other. So you find the better one. Should it be Salesforce or HubSpot? You see what I mean? Should it be Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace? So when you build a business like that, it's almost perfect for that industry, right? Pop biz, that industry, because there's so many of them. You know what I mean? You build one e-commerce business, why would you build it any different? That's like if Shopify is in the center, I always say, well, we already know the app stack. Like generally you do. Why would you go and do anything else, right? But the use of the app is the problem. So even if you in your Franken system, maybe all of you know what I'm talking about, Google Chrome, you got all your tabs across the top, MailChimp, HubSpot, QuickBooks Online, whatever, you just assign a different business to each one of those app environments to set it up, train it, and support it. That's what the automated method became over quarantine, a remote department management company, all in a Slack channel. You know what I mean? So you don't have to, so if there's 11 specialists and they all run their own businesses, right? There could be a cloud bookkeeper, a cloud lawyer, there could be a cloud project manager, like a cloud workflow audit person. They're all in the same Slack channel. So when you drag a candidate or a new client in there, it's so much easier to build their business because this is what they want to do. Here's what we're going to do. And then you just figure out a bandwidth map to train and roll out each one of the ecosystems to put it all together. Sorry if I'm running on, but it gets me excited because it's the first time you can do it all. For a small or medium business, because as well as I do, it hits a wall when the specialty ends. So like if you do web development, they're not going to care about the inside ops of the business. They're not going to care about the communication protocol. They're not going to care about the IT. They're not going to care about the sales pipeline. You know what I mean? They stop here. How do you get here? When all these things are supposed to integrate. That makes any sense.
Great. So, Jason, thank you very much for that. I think that's a great, great what you're doing. So a lot of businesses want to adopt a lot of technologies, and most of them, mostly they adopt wrong apps, wrong tech stack. And that's
the dark cloud
comes in. Yeah. And they also, if they're using some tech stack, they're mostly inefficient, not using it properly, not using it to the fullest. And Jason will tell you, and his company will tell you which ones are the right fit for you. Do not just adopt anything which your neighbor has adopted. That's the way Jason's company will help you. Jason, thank you so much for that, bringing light.